Holy help where?
73 years ago, a son was born into the family of the Ransom Kutis. He was the second son of Reverend Israel Uludotun and his wife from Layo. He was named Olufela Olusegun Uludotun Ransom Kuti. Fela, whose brothers were Olukoye Ransom Kuti and Beko Ransom Kuti, was also the second cousin of Wole Soyinka. He was sent to London in 1958 to study medicine, but he decided to study music instead at the Trinity College of Music.
Everything was European background. The upbringing, the teaching in school. But my father was a pastor, a pastor, and everything had to be English. We were not even allowed to speak our country's language in schools, and they called the language they called our own languages vernacular. So English was the real language you had to speak in school. So everything was English. With what we were taught in schools, nobody was thinking of whether to be African or not. We just accepted that we were English, and anybody that went to England for studies was a master, So everybody wants to go to England, come back home to be master, So I never thought about it, being African as such, So it didn't mean anything to me.
While there, he formed the band Kola Lobitos, which played a fusion of jazz and highlife. 2 years afterwards, he married his first wife, Remilekun Taylor, with whom he had 3 children, Femi, Yeni, and Shola. In 1963, he returned to Nigeria to reform Kola Lobitos and train as a radio producer for the Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation. That was when Fela first called his music Afrobeat, which is a complex fusion of jazz, funk, Ghanaian Nigerian highlife, psychedelic rock, traditional West African chants, and rhythm. In 1969, Fela took the band to the United States and on his return, changed 3 things about himself. He changed the name of his band, he changed the themes of his song, and he changed his name to Anikulapo, which means he who carries death in his pouch, stating that his original maiden name, Ransom, was a slave name.
I was in England. I started to feel the awareness of having to be an African, because for the first time I came to England, I started to feel, oh wow, so these white people don't like us too much. This is my experience from having to rent rooms. I had so much. At that time, you read the newspapers in England, house for rent, no coloreds, no dogs, and all this. That annoyed me a lot, and not many students. So at my student days in England, I started to be aware of having to be an African, but we had nothing to offer as Africans because we were all just taught English.
In 1977, Fela and the Africa 70 released the hit album Zombie, a scouting attack on Nigerian soldiers using the zombie metaphor to describe the methods of the Nigerian military. The album was a smash hit with the people, but infuriated the government, setting off a vicious attack against the Kalakuta Republic, which served as a recording studio and a home for many connected to the band. Kalakuta Republic was attacked by 1,000 soldiers and Fela was severely beaten and his elderly mother was thrown from a window. The Republic was burned and Fela's studio instruments and master tapes were destroyed. Fela claimed that he would have been killed had it not been for the intervention of a commanding officer as he was being beaten. Did Fela fight back? Yes, he did. His response to the attack was to deliver his mother's coffin to the Dodan Barracks in Lagos, which was General Olusegun Obasanjo's residence. He also wrote 2 songs, Coffin for the Head of State and Unknown Soldier, referencing the official inquiry that claimed the combine had been destroyed by an unknown soldier. Despite this attack and 2 notorious concerts in Ghana and Berlin, Fela was still determined to stage a comeback. In 1978, Fela had married 27 women, many of whom were his dancers, composers, and singers to mark the anniversary of the attack on the Kalakuta Republic. Later, he adopted a rotational system to keep only 12 wives simultaneously. He later divorced all of them because he believed marriage brings jealousy and selfishness. On the 3rd of August 1977, Fela died of Kaposi sarcoma, which is a tumor caused by human herpesvirus 8. More than 1 million people attended Fela's funeral at the old shrine. A new African shrine has been opened since Fela's death in a different section of Lagos under the supervision of his son Femi Kuti. 4 years afterwards, Fela is still celebrated by everyone through Felabration and Fela on the Broadway. The former is the brainchild of Yeni Kuti, while the latter is the idea of Stephen Endel. And this year's edition, which was stacked by events and activities including a week-long exhibition, theatre performances, numerous live musical performances, poetry recitals, book readings, open mic session, food, fashion and lifestyle fair, film screening, and many more. Artists that perform at the event include Bez, Brimo, MI, Wizkid, Idris Abdul Karim, Essence, Goldie, General Pipe, Mocheda, Kwamwan, Chidima, and many more. We at U.com celebrate fellow resilience, determination, and courage to stand against the world, even when we are advised to join them if we can't beat them. We celebrate the contents and the uniqueness of his songs, which would ever be relevant. We also celebrate Abamieda, the radical one who came, saw, and conquered.
Like one of the latest songs I'm singing now, I said, "Teacher, don't teach me nonsense." Right. Now I was trying to let my people see, because in Africa people respect teachers. You know, teachers, because they teach English and they teach their pupils, you know. Respect teachers and pastors, you know, in Africa. So, okay, now I saw that I should now use teacher as my focus. So I said, I titled the song, "Teacher, Don't Teach Me Nonsense." Now, I now wove the song into letting the people see that the white men have taught us everything we know. But I made people see also that one important thing they taught us was politics. Because I wove in the song to the elections in Nigeria, because it was a farce. Now I mentioned democracy. Now in English, the Englishman will say democracy. But if the African man wants to say it in broken, he will say democracy. See now. I now thought of the word. I said crazy. That's now I saw craziness. I said I could now see let my people see that democracy really is not that word, that is really madness, you know. So I said, now I started to sing. I said, I start to think of this word democracy. Democracy. Crazy demo. Demonstration of grace. Crazy demonstration. Then I went a little bit serious, because I know that people will laugh at that when they hear that. And I went a little bit serious. I said, now, if it's not crazy, why that in Africa, as time goes forward, things is getting worse. Poor man they cry, rich man they mess. Democracy, crazy demo, demonstration of grace.
Make you not use me no more. Come to the team, yes, and then you don't die. Yo. Come to the team, yes, and then you don't die. Come to the team, yes, and then you don't die. Me and you not neighbor, we say more happy. This God we shall speak English for the benefit of foreigners. In this God we shall speak English for the benefit of foreigners. Oh
wise chief, you be judged for this case. If you know wise enough, it be judge. Now the people make you the judge, therefore you are wise. Now talk, you talk, that not correct talk. As prosecutor for African people, I go start my work. Do your work, make the man answer. My brother, you be accused for this case. Don't be afraid, this not African court. I know you're him, you don't have to tell me. African colonial soldier, do you hear me now? Do you hear me now? Do you hear me now?
The comedy night live and that October night was very sploofic. Also enjoyment was just too much. I don't know, and I was just in the party.
Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Comedy Night Live this November takes a new dimension as Lepashios, Bossek, ONG, Bucci, Bow Joint, DY, Odogwu, Worker Man Movement, Goldie, Olamide, Dip W4, Eddie Kim, and your host Kofi. Get ready to scatter. Oh yes, scatter the place with special guest performances by Pasuma, Sunny Danja, and DJ T. Comedy Night Live on the 5th of the November 2011. Oh yes, you heard me, on the 5th of the November 2011 at the King Size Place, Oregon, 6 to 10 p.m. Tickets 2,000 Naira, couples 3,000 Naira, and everyone, I mean everyone's a VIP. Yes, and Valerie. Tickets available on highbuzz.com, hitlist.com, Hub Media Store, The Pound Leggy, the King Size Place, Oregon. Comedy Night Live, powered by Worker Man and Kalahari Events, gingered by
Oh, my sploofy gang.
Oh, how I love the Ember period. Celebration.
I love the Ember period too, you know. Now, to learn more about the king of Afrobeat, Fela, just log on to our website, www.utv.com.ng.
And if you haven't joined us yet, please do so. Click on the registration icon and follow the steps.
And remember, doing this can earn you a ticket to free ticket for
end of year party. Haha, you don't want to miss it.
It's going to be fun. Sploofic.
All right, so this is where we say goodbye, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Be happy.
Make you not use